AAI offers an API for subscription services. A subscription is a request to convert AAI data, like individual alerts, events, or predictions, to matching JSON formatted messages, and then deliver those messages to an endpoint, called the callback URL. Let's say an alert is configured for a job stream XYZ in AAI. It triggers every time the job stream is late. Whenever the alert is triggered, the subscription generates a matching JSON message and delivers it to the callback URL, which can be any page. This is the basic premise of a web service. The AAI Subscriptions API comes with a dedicated interface called Swagger UI. It makes it very easy to match subscription requests issued via GET, POST, and DELETE to the data topics like alerts or predictions. You pick the request and data type, and Swagger UI will issue the curl command without having to resort to command line work or other tools like Postman. You can post requests to subscribe to a stream, delete to unsubscribe, and GET to query the system. There are 4 data topics available to subscriptions: alerts, definitions, events, and predictions. Subscriptions can be supplemented with custom code segments called templates, which are tailored to third-party products like Slack or ServiceNow. You can include the segments with the subscription post. Its role is to structure the response so it can be interpreted by the third-party system, which, in turn, performs its intended task. This means that each time our job stream is late, the template contains the necessary logic to generate a ticket in ServiceNow. AAI comes with ready-made templates for Slack, ServiceNow, and DXIO, and you can build new ones. We use 3 types of requests, and they're all submitted with the curl command. First, if you want to generate and then subscribe to a particular data stream, use the post request, which creates the subscription. It generates JSON messages matching each item of requested data, and then delivers it to the callback URL, which is included in the request. These requests can be delivered with or without a template. You use the template to integrate with third-party platforms, say generate tickets in ServiceNow. We use GET request to display information about subscriptions. A delete request unsubscribes. For this module, we're going to refrain from relying on methods, which are overly academic. Instead, we'll tackle a simple use case. First, in order to use a particular subscription, we have to enable it in the config tool. The alert subscription is active by default, but not the others. Then we'll submit a GET request to see what we're currently subscribed to. We submit a POST request to subscribe to alerts for a specific job stream called Global with the started status. It's understood that the job stream has to be configured in AAI with this particular alert. Then we'll use events to manage an entire subscription lifecycle. We'll subscribe, show the subscription, and then unsubscribe. Finally, we'll explore templates. Third-party users will be in a position to design their own tools and logic to receive and process data from subscription services to the user-specific callback URL. In this case, the callback URL is a request handler specific to the third-party platform. It's listening for messages coming from AAI and invoking user-implemented logic upon receipt based on the content of those messages. As long as the system is configured properly, callback URL should receive messages that match those appearing in the subscription services log. If the user's endpoint is not receiving the messages, the log file will show if and where the messages are being sent. Before using Swagger UI, start the config tool and enable the subscriptions you want. Publish alerts should be active by default. Set the others to true and close the config tool. Subscriptions are enabled immediately. First, let's look at Swagger UI. We've added the URL. There are 5 basic menus. The basic error controller shows the default error issued when the request fails without specific handling. Preview is a simulation environment. It lets you test requests. You can submit post requests with or without templates to show the responses you'd normally get in the real world. Requests are never physically submitted to the database. We submit requests in subscriptions, which is the main interface we'll be using. Templates is the environment for seeing, adding, and using templates. Finally, models show the components parts of each request and data field type. We expand subscriptions. Every combination of method and data type is accessible. You can post to subscribe to a stream, get to show what that stream is, or delete to unsubscribe from and remove that stream. Then we have different topics, alerts, which show the alerts configured in AAI, events, which show operational data like executing or completed job streams, definition data like job streams, and predictions. You notice that we have 2 versions. V2 subscriptions provide the same functionality as V1, they've just been developed more recently and are coded and used a little differently. Subscriptions are data type specific. Let's display our alert subscription. We use the get methods. Subscription forms show at least one box, which is the structure of a Code 200 response. This is the structure of a successful response we can expect based on the request we're using. It shows each data element included in the response. An alert has a time zone, an AAI alert type, say started, late, complete, or SLA exceeded, a callback URL where the data is sent, some headers, a job stream ID, a suppression mechanism, and a template ID. When submitting the request, some fields are mandatory: the alert type, the callback URL, and callback verb, and the job stream ID. All the others are optional. We know what the callback URL is, and the verb should be puts. We know alert type and job stream ID. Note that an alert subscription is always for a single job stream and a single type. Say you wanted to subscribe to alerts late and started for the same job stream, you would need 2 subscriptions. The subscription can have a time zone depending on where the AAI server is. Suppression is either enabled and set to true or not and set to false. If true, then you need to provide a suppression time parameter, say 5 hours. Suppressing means creating the subscription, but keeping it quiet for the first 5 hours of existence, or whatever the parameter is. If the subscription is associated with a template, then the template ID will display. Note the 3 headers. These are optional as well. Broadcom has added them to store custom header information required by third-party applications, say content type, accept, or authorization headers. Next, we click Try It Out to tell the system to run this request. In the case of the GET request, no additional configuration is needed. We simply click Executes. This encodes the complete curl command and submits it to the system. Underneath we see the response, which is empty. This is because we have no subscriptions. Let's subscribe to an alert service. We use Post on alerts. In Swagger UI, the Post method provides a lot of the information describing the technology. It displays the possible statuses associated with AAI alerts. It also informs you that each time a matching alert is triggered in AAI, an HTTP call is made to the URL. It contains the matching JSON message, and the structure of that message is provided. These are the message properties like the severity. The target job is the scheduler job for which the alert was triggered, and it's one of the message properties. It has a number of embedded properties like schedule ID, job ID, and job name. It also includes all the information that pertains to the alert, start time, average duration, and so forth. The 2 required properties are alert type and job stream ID. All the others are optional. Since we're not including those optional elements, we simply delete them. Remember, the subscription is for a single job stream called global. We have the name, but we need the ID. We can use the conventional REST API to produce the list of job streams and matching IDs and find the one we want. Output the result of the curl command to a file. Search for the right job stream, you'll find the matching ID. Then we click Try It Out. We'll have the opportunity to modify a request before we execute it. We have removed the optional fields and set the job stream ID. The type is job stream started. Again, we see the curl command and the response, which is good. We're now subscribed to this particular alert. We can check this with a get. This is the ID of our new subscription. Let's run through the entire life cycle using events. We'll run through the entire process of posting for a new subscription, displaying the subscription, and deleting it. The new subscription shows the ID. We can download the response to a text file, so we can copy this ID to delete the subscription. Let's look at templates. Some templates already exist. We run a GET request on the list. If you wanted to create a new template, you would use the POST method. Each template has an ID, a name, and some additional properties based on the requirement of the third-party application we're submitting to. Note that the callback URL should also be accessible by the application. This template is for AAI prediction messages in a Slack channel. The product is Slack, and the subscription source is predictions. It outputs some text with the job name variable identified by the $ and curly brackets, along with predicted start and end times. The template immediately below uses alerts and delayed job streams. The template is written in such a way that it references the scheduler job associated with this job stream, which is called the target job. We want to retrieve the job name, a property which is embedded in the target job property, and so it uses the syntax $ open curly target job dot job name close curly. The structure of the template is as follows. The first block contains the template ID, the template name, and a replace map. The second block is the template logic itself. When this template is added to an alert subscription, it generates a response, which triggers the creation of a ticket in ServiceNow, so presumably it would be used with late type alerts. The replace map contains two embedded items, normal and critical. This embedded block translates AAI's severity fields, minor, normal, critical, and so forth, into standard ServiceNow severity levels, which start at 1 for most severe. We've made a note of the template ID we want to use. Let's head back to one of the posts. This is the alert subscription post. This time it has a template. If you want to submit a template with a request, you have two options. The first consists in removing the empty template block and pasting the entire block from the actual templates. Your other option is to simply reference the template ID. Subscriptions generate a log called subscriptions.log, which is found in the log directory under JBoss standalone. This will keep a log of all work performed in subscriptions along with errors.